Did you know that over 170,000 people have entered the United States illegally through Texas from Central and South America this year? Over 52,000 of these people are children. Brian Coe tells us this from Mail Online, a UK news website. We have the opportunity to take care of these children during their time of need. I have researched several recent articles about this issue and have even spent time in these countries where these people are from and feel like I can talk to you about this issue. We must use unconventional efforts to help these children during their time of need. Today we're going to be talking about the significance of 2,000 people coming to the Dallas area, the harmful effects on the community and to the children. We will talk about the barriers towards solving this issue and then finally the solution. So in order to prove my first point, let's start with our first point. Ross Ramsey, a reporter from Texas Tribune in late June 2014, writes that County Judge Clay Jenkins for the Dallas County has released that only a few weeks ago that 2,000 immigrant children will be sheltered in the Dallas area. The origins of this problem began in October 2013 when a surge of more than 160,000 people of undocumented immigrants and more than 33,500 children and unaccompanied minors entered the state, reports Julian Aguilar, a Texas Tribune reporter in June 2014. There are several detention centers in McAllen, Texas, where most of these people came over, but now the issue is they're becoming overcrowded, and so they're having to send these people to other places in the state. Areas such as El Paso, Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, and now Dallas has taken part in this and allowing children to come stay in this area. In an article by Terry Langford and Jessica Hamill in 2014, published by the Texas Tribune, they discussed that in order to help with the influx of children, the state and federal governments are working as quickly as possible in order to connect these children to any relatives they may have in the state or in the United States, to try and get these children from the detention areas into other areas to allow for more people to come in. There are, however, barriers to solving this issue and many of the other issues. Some of them are attitudinal barriers and some of them are structural barriers. Most of them come from negative feelings. In a telephone interview with Commander Eric Williams, a diversity expert at Lockheed Martin, I began to see how negative attitudes affect the community as a whole and can eventually affect the children. He states that Guatemala and Mexico are failing to protect their citizens, and that passing this problem on to the United States is not the answer. This is true, and there are probably people in the community that feel even stronger, that these children must have to go back now, and this attitude can go towards them, maybe hurting the children or at least making these children feel like they're unwelcome, and in an area when they don't feel safe already, that's scary. And there's also racism involved in this as well. People already don't feel welcoming to immigrants, and this will even prove this issue further. So I agree with the County Judge Clay Jenkins in his announcement to the press in June 2014 that we cannot turn our backs on the children that are already here. They don't need to stay, but while we have them in our city, we need to take care of them while they're here. Jeffers, Scogan, and Solis recorded this statement on June 14, 2014 from the Dallas Morning News. So we've talked about the negative attitudes, and then there's the structural barriers, which is the cost and the immigration policies. The cost of this is going to be huge. They're going to have to use state taxes and government taxes to take care of housing 2,000 people in the Dallas area. And there's immigration policies. How long are they allowed to stay? When do they need to go back? And how do you fix this with children and with adults? So now that we've talked about the problems to the state as a whole, let's talk specifically about Dallas County. So we have the housing issue. We have to house 2,000 children in the Dallas area. The Ramsey article that I mentioned before, he talks about that the county judge wants to split the children up into 1,000 people groups. So one area is going to hold 1,000 people, and then another area in a surrounding Dallas County will hold 1,000 children. So as you're thinking of housing, you have to think about a facility that's large enough to hold these children, as well as the amenities of the facility. Does it have a cafeteria, showers, bathrooms, recreational areas for the children to play, as well as sleeping areas? And then we have, when are these children coming? It looks like now from all the articles that I've read that they'll be coming at the end of July or early August. And when will they be leaving? Well, the article told us that they're signing 120-day contracts with these areas, so they'll be here at least 120 days, if not longer. Then we move to the problem of meeting the basic needs of these children. The Department of Health and Human Services pays for and provides all the services for the children through a network of grantees. This includes food, clothing, education, and medical services, reports Teresa Woodward from WFAA Channel 8 News. So the Department of Health and Human Services is paying for and providing the food and clothing, but that also in turn costs tax dollars. And then we have finally the community reactions. How are the people of Dallas County going to react to 2,000 children not from here living in their area? Stella Chavez, a reporter for KERA News, writes that there have been many negative responses to the county judge's plan to bring kids to Dallas. People didn't choose or vote on the fact that 2,000 children will be coming to their area. So this could be potentially an inconvenience for them. These kids will be using their facilities. Are they going to be allowed to go to Walmart? Are they going to be allowed to go to the local movie theaters? And we found through several articles that these children have to stay in the areas that they're being sheltered. They're not allowed to integrate into the community. So the problems will be housed in those specific areas. So let's explore the solution to this problem. My solution is to gather volunteers to bring relief to children from the DFW area churches. There are churches such as Gateway Church and The Hills that have several campuses in the Dallas area and in the Fort Worth area that have a large pool of people that can bring them together in order to bring activities, to bring food and clothing out of their own pockets to help alleviate the cost of other charities and the government towards these kids. Rosales, a writer for the Scoop blog, part of the Dallas Morning News, says that social services for children will be charged with housing the children, providing medical services that they may need, and any legal help. So volunteers can help alleviate this cost if one of the departments is already putting their money towards it. If we provide the things that these children need, then the government may not have to use that money to provide for these kids. Part of the workability of this solution is that churches are willing to help. They already have ministries in place that go to Dallas to help people in need, so they can just maybe rearrange their schedules in order to help these people by providing other children can help, adults can help, and teenagers can help. So they can pull all their ministries together in order to take this to these people. And the advantages of this solution are the fact that it's going to alleviate the stress for these kids. They're tired, they're scared, they don't understand the language, and they're in places that are kind of scary. And so if you can have people that are willing to help and wanting to help be there, it'll help alleviate the stress they feel in an environment that's not their own. Also, it will promote unity among the Dallas area churches. If Gateway works with the Hills, then you have unity between the churches and the people, and that's an advantage for them. And it will take pressures off the charities that I've already mentioned. Places like the Catholic Charities and Salvation Army may not have to put all their resources into doing this if you have churches already helping them. So, in conclusion, we talked about the fact that there's 2,000 children coming to the Dallas area. We talked about the harmful effects of the community, how to provide housing, their basic needs, and how the community is going to react. And we talked about the attitude barriers and the structural barriers. So, when you think about Dallas, or when you go to Dallas in the next few months, I want you to think about the solution that I've laid out to you. You know there's 2,000 kids there. See if there's a church in the area that may already be helping, and go ahead and start helping with these kids. Finally, before we end this, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of these children. Think about how they are feeling. If you were tired, alone, and scared, would you want someone else to come help you?